Well, good evening, guys. Welcome to another weekly prep session. I know you're excited to see what we have projected for this week. I think just 2 weeks ago, I had the same session where I broke down the fundamentals, the deep fundamentals and technicals behind why the markets we trade most frequently, Euro, USD, UJ, why they were doing what they did. 2 weeks ago, 2 Fridays ago, we had that very strong spike on all USD pairs. Let me show you the spike I'm talking about. I'm talking about this one that happened here, and I think what's that guy? This is GU. Where's that spike? Okay, that's this one here. That's 2 weeks ago. I broke down why this spike happened and then what caused it and what it means for the pair going into this week and going to NFP, and basically everything we predicted is just what is happening. And now that NFP has come out, I want to really go in depth and show you what you could expect for next week and also what you could expect towards the end of the year. So first things first, why did price make this big spike 2 weeks ago on Friday? It was Jerome Powell, the chair of the Federal Reserve, the US Federal Reserve, when he hinted that interest rates could be cut, right? So I explained everything in that video, and I think I will link it around this video so you go watch it again. And the reason why he wants to cut, or why they want to cut interest rates, is because jobs are slowing down. People do not have so much jobs anymore, and the spending is reducing, so inflation is dropping rapidly. But the goal of the economy is not to keep inflation too low or to let it go high. It's just to keep it balanced. So if it's getting too low, they want to try to increase it a little bit. If it's getting too high, they want to increase rates and drop it down. So this was him hinting that okay, we try to slow the economy down, but now it's getting too slow. We need to do something that would make people get more jobs, have more money in circulation. And then we began to look for news that support all of these things. We were looking at initial job claims, and then the overall Oga Kwata of them all was going to be the NFP. And the NFP came out last 2 days ago on Friday, and we saw what happened. It was very negative for the dollar, and that's why you see what the dollar did. It's rallied upwards, right? That's why it did these things. So this entire range, all of this happened while we're waiting for that news to come out. But gold, which is a safe haven, has just been pulling up. And I've literally had these projections for a long time. I said gold was going to hit all-time highs before anybody else was talking about it. I've been literally look at my markups. It's been here. This is the zone I marked since when? This was since July 25th. It was just going to go. If the dollar is dying, people want to invest in something safe, so they put their money in gold. That's why gold was just going to buy and keep going higher. I had levels that gold has since surpassed, and I don't trade gold. I just use it sometimes as an indicator. Like I just analyze it just so I know what's going on with the economy. And understanding why your peers are doing what they're doing is also a great way to trade with confidence. Do you understand? Now your system may not present you opportunities to catch all these moves, but at least you know why your pair is doing what it's doing. So now that we have NFP out, and I think the decision to cut those interest rates is going to come. I think it's on the 17th. Someone, let me check. Let me look at the news that we have for the week. So Monday, we do not have anything interesting for the dollar, so we may have a very slow market. But you have some euro news coming out. Balance of trade, okay, it might affect the euro for those of us trading euro USD. On Tuesday, we don't have much, but we have non-farm payroll annual revision. That may be heavy. Then also got some news on the GBP that may affect the Great British Pound. Then we got a lot of news on Wednesday. The only one is high impact PPI. Let's see what potentially that could do to the dollar. But basically, what we're saying is the news has come out already. The jobs are low. The jobs are are very low, lower than expected. So both they want to balance this economy back, and definitely they're going to cut those rates. I'm saying definitely, but with a pinch of salt. I mean, with the grain of salt, how do they say it? I'm expecting that they will cut it, and basically we're going to have a bull run on the USD, a bull run on GU, and a bull run and a bearish run, maybe a bearish run on UJ, because you can't always tell. Let me show you my analysis on on EU GU for the long term. I've had this analysis for a long time on the daily time frame. So even though all these things are happening fundamentally, there's no way we could have predicted that it will happen on the daily time frame. Well, how comes it's just aligning with the structural, the technical trend? I mean, I've had this markup since August 1st, around August 1st, when price reacted off of here. That price is going to grab liquidity below these lows and then push up to this higher mine. That's my overall target, 1.37905 on the Great British Pound dollar. And for Euro USD, it's the target is basically the same. I don't. Okay, my markup is it not? Is it no? Why? It's the same thing here. That's the high that we're targeting for price to clap. That's the high. So that's 1.8320. I've been saying this for a while. That's the target for EU. This was the liquidity grab I was talking about on EU. Same thing as GU. So price reacted from here. And basically I'm expecting price to keep. So it's already very close to the take profit. So it's just how many pips left to push. Wait. Just how many pips? I'm trying to deduce this. Okay, yeah. It's just around 115 pips left to push to target. That's the target for EU. This is the target for GU. And the only one that is not so clear is UJ. UJ is very conflicting because of this order flow that it's been having, very constant order flow. But you can never tell. But we're still overall bearish. So you may decide to just like turn from here and like drop to this bottom. I'm not very sure on UJ because it's very conflicting. The order flow here is just too strong. But all we need to see is just price to break below this zone. Once it breaks below there, I think it's gonna be like a free fall. If you can break below here on UJ, it's basically a free fall to the downside here. That's my projection for UJ. If price can basically just break that, we're dying. UJ is basically dying if UJ breaks those points. Okay, let's say it breaks the first one, then it breaks somewhere like here as well. Oh my god, that's the end. And let's say the dollar keeps getting weak. Yeah, keeps getting weak. You're dying. So when they eventually cut those, when they eventually cut the interest rates, it's going to weaken the dollar so much because now the dollar will not be profitable to hold. It means that if you had some dollars and you want to borrow it out, you're not going to get much back for borrowing out your dollars. So investors do not want to hold it. That's why it's to lose so much value that UJ will drop to the ground, and gold is going to keep rising. Gold is definitely going to keep rising. It has smashed the highs, which is very nice. Is very nice. That smashed the highs. Gold is going to keep rising. Maybe a small retracement somewhere and then keep pushing. We can never tell. We do not know. Possibly, maybe on the 4 hour. Let's see what we could possibly see on the 4 hour. I feel like doing these weekly preps on the higher time frames is just much better than the lower time frames because there's a lot of movement on the lower time frames, and it may not exactly just align. So possibly we could see a break and retest here for those of you who use break and retest. Maybe price bounces here and continues to push, or for those of you who use OBs, you can see price come down all the way here and push from here. Who knows, he may even go lower all the way down to here. For those of you who trade M's and W's, this may be your W coming up. Could go all the way down here and then push forward. Nobody knows what gold could do. Also on the flip side, it could also go all the way down here, grab liquidity below there and react off of this OB right here. It could do anything literally once. Why is my network misbehaving? Please don't misbehave. Okay, so that's basically what gold could do. Nobody knows. So these are the long-term possibilities with gold. So I said one, break and retest on this level. Next one is an OB reaction here. Another one is a possible liquidity grab below this low and then coming to react off of here, this OB right here. So you can literally do anything once. You just have to align with what the market is doing. So you don't want to be predicting, you want to be reacting. So price could do any of these. So depending on how you trade, just for you to align it with your rules to now decide on what trades you want to take. So that's for the 4 hour on GU, on gold, sorry. For GU was still very bullish. You know how I already said it on daily time frame we're bullish. Let's look at the internal structural points of of G on the 4 hour time frame. So that's the reaction there. There's a valid high, there's another valid high, price has broken that. So therefore we're clearly properly bullish here with this break here, very bullish. This is liquidity grab below this low, and price didn't exactly push up immediately after. Okay, that was when it did that thing that Paul talks about after the liquidity, but then it still came down again for another liquidity grab here. Now it's reacted off of, what did it react off of? Should I say this breaker block right here? See, there's this breaker block here. And price reacted off. Yes, it didn't break it, it just wicked it. So that breaker block is where price reacted off of, and it's pushing to these highs. So on the 4 hour, this is where I expect, in fact, like immediate 4 hour target is this high right here, and we're looking at 1.35977 for the week. So where could price react from? It could retrace all the way back down here and bounce from here and then push, or it could literally grab liquidity below these lows. That's if you're on the lower time frame, and come all the way down here. Price can do anything like, so you don't like hold too tight to a particular idea. It could do anything it fucking likes. I'm not even kidding. So you could push that, but baseline GU is bullish. It makes no sense that GU will do something like this and start dropping down based on the fundamentals and based on everything that we've seen. Also, we're also going to look at the sentiment on these pairs as well. So I've done gold for hour, I've done gold, okay, I've done GU. I've done GU. Now let's go to EURUSD. For EURUSD, it's the same thing basically. I've done it daily already, or still bullish or pushing higher, and the 4 hour, where could we be reacting from this week? So based on structure, this high is valid, this low is valid, this high is valid, this low is valid. So basically that's a break, that's a trend change based on our rules, the way I tell structure based on my methodology. So that's a TRCC right there. That's confirming the trend change back to being bullish on the 4 hour time frame after grabbing liquidity here and doing all these crazy moves. So now let's see what's happening basically deeply on the 4 hour. So we have that liquidity grab right there, and price immediately reacted off of this OB right here and tapped it and hit the target, which is right there. Then let me make this bigger so you can see. Let me zoom it in. Then what price did again was to grab liquidity below this low. Let me use an arrow so it's easier for you to understand. Grab liquidity below this low and still react off of the same OB and push up to target. So this is the same target that price pushed up to. These are very good trades in my opinion. Very, 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 very good trades that you can hold for long. If you know how to enter on the lower time frame, these are very high risk to reward trades. But not everybody is built for swing trading, because see, price reacted, went all the way almost to TP, then came all the way back down here. You most likely can handle that level of fluctuation in your profits if you're not like very advanced and very solidified in your trading. So now that we have price breaking above here, the next target based on the 4 hour is here. So yes, is your next target is not here. It's not here because these are not in context to your current structural points. This is your next immediate target. On the daily, this is our target, right? All of this is none of your business. On the daily, if you're trading on the daily, this is your overall target. But since you're on the 4 hour, this is your next immediate target. So you just follow this current trend that the 4 hour is moving on. Because if you're targeting something like this, price can actually move close to it and come all the way down. You may lose. But when you're using this target, once it moves, it's going to hit it straight up. So now where could price react from to get to this point? So we don't know if price is going to like retrace or anything, but it may just open up and just go straight there, or it can react off of this as a break and retest for those who trade break and retest, and you can get a push from there. Possibly for OB traders, this is your OB right here, the last sell move, the lowest sell move before price pushed up. Okay, as I was saying, you could have a break and retest trade here from this high for those of you who trade break and retest, or for our OB traders, price may decide to retrace off of this zone right here. Price can decide to do this. We do not know what price will do. Price can decide to do this. Worst case scenario, price can decide to even do a liquidity grab below this established solidified low and react off of somewhere like here, this OB right here. If you go into lower time frame, that would be an OB or something. Price can decide to react off of that point. You can literally do anything you want. From what I'm seeing, price is not mitigated here, so this zone is still open for mitigation. Nobody knows how far down price will go before it pushes up, but based on the fundamentals that have been released, and I still haven't gone over the fundamental that we're waiting for. Let me see if it's coming this week. Okay, yes, it is. It's CPI. Jesus Christ, that's September 11th, I guess, right? So core inflation rate is when, okay, see, there's initial jobless claim, there's continuing jobless claims. These things are going to build on what the NFP has said. But you see this core inflation rate, CPI, oh my God, we're going to see, I'm telling you, this is me. I don't usually say things like this where I tell you that price is going to go up or price is going to go down. Based on what we've seen, based on what the fundamentals we've seen, I'm predicting that EU, GU, are gonna spike up, like bullish move, bull run basically. That's what's gonna happen based on my prediction. I can be very wrong. But one interesting thing about this industry is we have the privilege to make money off of our ideas. There are not so many places where you can make money off of your ideas. For example, if you work a job, your ideas may just improve the company or just make your work easier, but most times it does not actually affect your income. But you see this forex industry, your ideas put money in your pocket. That's why it's so powerful. That's why God puts people here, people who He's giving very crazy ideas. Like you turn your current ideas in the market into money, then the other bigger ideas he's put in your mind, you use that money to bring them to life and help people and create jobs and just change people's life. You get me? So this is the only industry where you can turn your ideas into money, and this is one I'm giving you. This is my idea based on the analysis I've done fundamentally. So let's quickly look at sentiment. So this is what we're waiting for on Thursday, September 11th, we're going to see the news that we're waiting for that confirm if they're hiking those rates or not. So core inflation, let's read what you need to learn how to read news. The core consumer price index in the United States analyzes changes in prices that customers spend for a basket of commodities, excluding volatile food, fuel, and expenses. A higher than expected figure should be seen as positive, but a lower than expected figure, so that's when they say they are going to cut the rate. Lower than expected figure is going to be negative for the USD, and that's what's most likely going to happen. If, for example, it comes out and is exactly the same, EU-GU may stall. We'll wait for more news to confirm what we're saying, but I'm just seeing bullishness non-stop. Everything is pointing to it being bullish. Once you understand why price is doing what it's doing, the rest is it's just easy work. You get me? So same thing with this United CPI. It had an expected figure to be seen as positive, but lower than expected CPI as negative for the USD. So I've exposed so much in terms of fundamentals to you guys. This should be easy for you to read now. Same thing here. Then we have inflation rates month on month. Same thing. We're expecting it to go lower because they want to cut the rate since the jobs are slowing. They want more people to get more jobs. They want more businesses to hire people. When you hike the rates, businesses are dropping people. But when you lower the rates, you have people, they hire more people. And when you do that, more salaries are paid. There's more salaries are paid. There's more cash in circulation. People spend more money and the economy balances again. Then you see probably the hike the rate again, and then EU-GU start to drop again. It's just a cycle of balancing, destroying, seeking and destroying these things. It's just simple stuff. Once you understand it, you can't lose it anymore. You get me? So the possibility of price coming all the way down here, very, very low, but that's not impossible. Do you get me? So what price could most likely do on EU? Just push up from here, possibly, or push up from this FVG, or decide to come to this zone I marked out earlier, your break and retest zone. For those of you who trade break and retest, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I used to trade break and retest. If I found something better, it still works. So another possibility is to come to break and retest zone. Then what I'm thinking, possibly come all the way down here. Nobody knows what price is going to do, but at least to do one of them. So these are possible zones that price could react from. So you just align this directional thinking with your system. Do not copy exactly what I'm telling you. You take it and you go test it. You go do your own analysis. What are you saying? This objectively, based on external structure, strong structural points, and based on fundamentals, is what this pair is most likely going to do. I'm not clearing this chart. I'm going to leave you here for next week's weekly prep. Let's see if actually price did what I said it would do or not. You get me? So now on GU, we've gone over GU already, and this is the analysis for GU, very similar to EU. Then gold, very similar. We'll see. We're expecting a push as well on gold. Then UJ, I've already explained that it's most likely going to push down. But all I need to see is price. Okay, I've not done the 4 hour on UJ. Let me do 4 hour on UJ now. Let's see. Okay, now based on structure on the 4 hour, let me take this. This is my daily analysis, daily zones on the UJ, but let me clear them out so I can have a better for our analysis. So this low is not valid, so I'm not counting it because it doesn't have two candles on the left side. It has on the right, but it doesn't have on the left side. So this is the only major one here. So this is a major zone. Let me start from here. So we have this low, this high is valid. Yeah, this is valid. This is valid. So this point of structure cost that, this cost this, break of structure right there. We have this push, so these two are valid, a change of trend, a confirmation of that change of trend. We've got a small LG here that cost price to push down all the way here. Yes, I'm seeing what price is doing now. There's an LG that cost price to push all the way here, and it did the same thing again, an LG again above those highs, and the next target is this low right here. So this is my immediate 4 hour prediction on UJ, that is push down to at least this target. This is 146.218. That's what I'm expecting UJ to do. So this is also a high. I did an LG here again. It can be very frustrating if you're trading the higher time frame sometimes, because you may wait so long and still not see the setup. So possibly we're seeing price push all the way down to, possibly, I'm not saying objective, but that's the only thing that can happen. So if you use this low as a valid one, it's still the same analysis you would end up with. But if you don't, let's say you use this and this, it's basically a change of trend right here. After price did that, then it confirmed that change of trend, then liquidity grab above here, push down, giving us some intentions that I want to sell. Then price, liquidity grab above there, came all the way below here, failed again, liquidity grab below. I'm expecting price to drop all the way to 1.146.252. So where could we see reaction from? We can see reaction from possibly these lows for a break and retest to the downside, or price could decide to push up into these OBs here. Nobody knows. Okay, so remember we're still having very strong order flow, so it's not impossible for this order flow that's been building up on UJ to still push price up. But on this is just what I'm saying based on what structure has shown me, right? So price could easily push and drop, and it could also very easily do a liquidity grab above here and still drop. But basically this is the target, and once it breaks this target bro, we're dying. Simple stuff, we're basically dying on UJ. So DXY, let me see what DXY is doing. I really don't look at the DXY anymore, but it's just basically the same analysis I've had on DXY since August 1st. I've had the same analysis, the same way I have it on UJ and on GU, EU, and UJ as well. So basically it is the same thing, liquidity grab, tap into that OB there, and the overall target is all the way down here. So as dollar keeps losing strength, price is going to push all the way down to 96.319. So finally, what we need to look at to close this session for today is sentiment. Let's see if we're actually right. More people doing the opposite of what you just said. If yes, then most likely what's going to happen. So on EU, we have more people selling, most likely. Yeah, definitely. I know we have more people selling than we have them buying. So most likely market will go against them. Although we usually make a decision when it's like 96%, 80%, but even at 72, it's still a lot. For GU, we have more people selling as well. For UJ, you have more people buying. So everything is in order. Let's look for gold. We have gold here. Definitely, we're gonna have more people selling gold. I know more people are selling gold, obviously. Market is doing the exact opposite. So that's all for this week. I'm still expecting dollar to get weaker, and I'm not going anywhere below the 4 hour time frame, just so we have a more objective and holistic analysis, and it's a lot easier for everybody to just stick here, because the lower time frames have a lot of movements that may not like align with this overall projection. So this is just much easier for everybody. So you GU, maybe just what I'm saying, our humble opinion, gold, then UJ. So this analysis is based on fundamentals, technicals, and sentiment, everything combined. So this is all I have for you this week, and definitely if you want more pairs to be reviewed, just drop them in the comments, and maybe next week I'll look at them more often. But there should be major pairs like maybe NU, AU, GJ, just kind of pairs. Don't come and give me Euro NZD, but I don't mind looking at it if you make it. If I see enough requests, just reply it in the comments of this video, and I'll try my best to add it to my next week's prep. And I'll also do fundamental analysis on them as well. So thanks for watching. Remember, you have to do your due diligence. Do not rush this process. You do not make it in this industry by winning trades. No, you make it in this industry by following a proven system the exact same way every single time. It's a system that eventually leads you to profitability. You'd have good times, you'd have bad times. Last week I had 6 losing trades back to back, and all of them were accurate to my system. Maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, let's say net 4 losing trades back to back associated with my system. But the week before, it was wins. So you see, every system has wins, losses. Is when you take the losses, take the wins, everything becomes net profit, because you can never know the result of your next immediate trade. But over a group of 10 trades, over a group of 100 trades, you are net profitable because you have data on your system. If you do not have data on your system, this is me imploring you to at least use some hours from this week to backtest your system effectively, to have enough data. That data will give you confidence to trade it live. Do you get me? So I don't want to drag this on for too long. I believe what I've shared is going to help you, and if it did help, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We have more weekly preps coming, and you don't want to miss any of them. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Good night.